I stand before the ruins of ancient Babylon, where Alexander once dreamed of a world united under his rule. Today we uncover a different aspect of this legendary conqueror's life, his sexuality. As we explore this controversial topic, we must remember the ancient world viewed sexuality through a lens vastly different from our own. How did Alexander navigate these waters of desire? In the ancient Greek world, sexuality was not defined by the rigid categories we use today. The concept of homosexuality or heterosexuality as fixed identities, it simply did not exist. Instead, sexual behavior was often seen through the prism of social status and power dynamics. Men of high standing were expected to take on dominant roles in sexual relationships, regardless of their partner's gender. For the Greeks, especially in the upper echelons of society, same-sex relationships between men were not only accepted but often celebrated. These relationships, however, were typically between an older man, the erastes, and a younger man or boy, the eromenos. This practice, known as pederasty, was seen as a form of mentorship and was an integral part of Greek culture and education. It's within this context that we must view Alexander's relationships. Born into Macedonian royalty, Alexander was raised in a culture that blended Greek customs with its own traditions. His father, Philip II, was known to have male lovers alongside his wives, a practice that was not uncommon among Macedonian nobility. Alexander's most famous relationship was undoubtedly with Hephaestion, his childhood friend and lifelong companion. Ancient sources describe their bond as exceptionally close. Aristotle, who tutored both young men, reportedly said of them, "One soul abiding in two bodies." When Hephaestion died in 324 BCE, Alexander's grief was so profound that he reportedly lay on the corpse for a day and night, refusing to eat or drink. Yet Alexander also had relationships with women. He married 3 times for political alliances and had at least one known child. His first wife, Roxana, was said to be the only woman he ever loved. But does this negate the possibility of his love for Hephaestion or other men? In the fluid sexual landscape of ancient Greece, not at all. In the end, trying to define Alexander's sexuality by modern standards is an exercise in anachronism. He was a man of his time, operating within the social and cultural norms of ancient Greece and Macedonia. Perhaps the true legacy of Alexander's love life is not in labeling his orientation, but in recognizing the complexity and fluidity of human sexuality throughout history. As we conclude our journey through Alexander's personal life, we're left with more questions than answers. A fitting tribute to a man whose legacy continues to captivate us millennia after his passing.